Hey everyone, this is Fabio and welcome back. Today we're going to do a video response to my good friend Senkai from Accent on Gamers on a very interesting topic that he mentioned, I think it was like a couple of weeks ago or something. And it's about the games that we love but we never finished. And at first I was like, oh, very interesting, let's make a video response. But then I started to think about games that I really like but was never able to finish, and I was like this. For the simple reason that it's harder than I thought to come up with games that I really enjoy but wasn't able to finish. For the obvious reason that when I like a game very much, usually I want to beat them and I keep playing them until they're beat. But with much perseverance, I was able to muster 5 games. One of them is pretty embarrassing, actually, to say. I was thinking about it and said, oh yeah, there's that game. Oh boy, I haven't finished that yet. So 5 games that I really enjoy, but for one reason or the other, I wasn't able to finish. And some of them, most of them, I would say, it's a pretty lame reason. Nothing too weird or strange happen. It's just lame, I have to be honest, but still it counts for the video. So let's start with the first game, which is Front Mission 3 on the PlayStation 1. Recently I've been thinking about playing Front Mission on the DS, but then I've started playing something else, so no Front Mission for me now. But Front Mission 3 will always have a special place in my heart as a gamer, for the reason that it's, for what I can remember at least, it's the first strategy RPG I ever played, since in Europe we didn't have Final Fantasy Tactics, and I was very new to the concept of an RPG with strategy mechanics involved. And a friend of mine owned this game, and we played together. We had a lot of fun. We loved this. So why I wasn't able to finish this game that I saying that I love so much? For the simple reason that I don't own it. This friend of mine actually lent the game to me for about 2 weeks or something, if I remember well. It's been so much. I was in middle school when I played this. So it lent me the game, and because I really wanted to play on my own, with my own rhythm, my own strategy. But as I said, I wasn't able to finish it. I remember very well, or I think I remember well. It's been so long. Reaching a point in the game where you have to. There are like 2, maybe more, like giant spider-looking robots or something. And I remember trying that mission a couple of times and dying, and I think then my attention was caught by something else, so I just returned the game to my friend. We never played it again because, again, also his attention was caught by something else. That was the thing back in the day, when we jumped from one game to the other all the time instead of focusing on one game at the time, like I'm trying to do in the last like couple or a bit more years. In order, because I like, as I said, as I was saying, I was just a siren distract me. I want to finish my games, not just start one, then move to another one, and forgot about everything that I did in the other ones. That's the simple reason why I never beat Front Mission 3. And I really want to play that game again and eventually finish it. As I said, I haven't played that game in at least 17 years or something like that. So I surely need to start over. I really want to get the game on PlayStation 1, even though it's easy and nice accessibility on the Vita, of course, on the PlayStation Store. But I really want to have that game physical because it really means a lot to me. I remember really enjoyed it. It introduced me to now one of my favorite subgenres, which are strategy RPGs. And I need that PlayStation game in my collection, and it will happen. I saw the prices; they're not too exaggerated or quite fair, to be honest. So let's hope that for some reason for Mission 3 now, 3 will not become extremely expensive in the next 6 months or something. So definitely an amazing game that, as I said, it really had an effect on me, but for the simple reason that I didn't own it, because I couldn't buy games that often when I was in middle school. Of course, I relied on my parents. They weren't really keen on video games, so if I was lucky and managed to get 1, 2, 3 games, it was exaggerating per year. So, of course, I most of the time I miss my chance with games. So that's a good starter. Let's stay on the PlayStation 1 territory, since this is, of course, one of my favorite. I will say it's my favorite console of all time. So there are a lot of games that I love from this generation. And this one, it's very interesting, and it's Fear Effect 2 Retro Helix. I'm a huge fan of the Fear Effect series, and I'm very excited by the news that I read that apparently a new Fear Effect game is coming through Kickstarter. We'll see. Apparently it's going to be on PS4. Very interesting. But the real deal for me will always be Fear Effect 1. I mentioned that game quite a few times throughout the history of my channel, and even recently, I think. Because I loved everything about that game, like the setting, the characters, the tone, the gameplay, the music, everything. And of course, I was very excited by the idea of the sequel, Retro Helix. And I bought it probably day one, or as close to day one as I could back then. Again, I was in middle school. Or maybe I was in my first year of high school by that point, because if I remember correctly, Retro Helix came out towards the end of the PlayStation 1 life cycle, if I remember well. Correct me if I'm wrong, of course, but I remember being quite late, and PS2 was, if not already announced, probably, but also already out. But anyways, I remember being very excited, so I bought this game and started playing it, and boy, it was hard. That's the main reason why I couldn't beat this game. It's incredibly hard. But hard enough to be playable, because I played a lot of Retro Helix. I cannot remember if the third or the fourth disc, so I much more than halfway through the game. But there was a point that basically the enemy kill you in one hit. You cannot damage them or something. It's in a weird sort of frozen place, or maybe it's hell or something. I cannot remember very well. It's been a long time ago. But I remember very well being stuck in this very hard level. And also the whole concept of Fear Effect 2, it went a bit too far to me back then with the trial and error. Because in Fear Effect 1, there were some situations where you have to do a certain action, or else the enemy will kill you instantly. For example, there's a helicopter, you have to take cover, or else you will kill by the machine guns or something like that. Fear Effect 2, it's full of these kind of things, like you have to go left or right, and so you have a 50-50 chance of missing the right choice, and if it's the wrong one, you'll get killed by a swarm of rats or by a robot or something else. So I remember there's plenty of these, which it's okay, but it's also quite annoying in the long run. But the gameplay was still great, the characters were still the same, plus Rain. It had all the charming features that made me fall in love with Fear Effect to begin with, plus some frustration, and that's the main reason why I beat it. I own this game, and as I said, I played a big chunk of it. I just wish one day I decide to come back to it and play from beginning to end, even though it's going to be frustrating, but who knows. Since I don't know when this third game will be released, it will be fine. It would be fun to play a Fear Effect game again after so long. I mean, we'll see, but Fear Effect 2 Retro Helix, it just turned me off with its very high difficulty. And of course, back then I used to jump from one game to another, as I was saying before, with Front Mission and this was no exception. So I was stuck in this game, so I moved to something else. So we'll see. Eventually, I think I will try again with Retro Helix. I just don't know why. I just don't know how. But I would really like to beat that game. The third one is interesting, and it's actually a PC game of all things. So I rarely talk about that, but I also play PC here and there throughout the years. And the game in question is Titan's Quest, a very interesting clone of Diablo, basically. I almost say that I prefer this to Diablo for certain aspects. I mean, Diablo plays a bit better, but the setting in Titan's Quest, you cannot beat it for me. It sets in ancient Greece, ancient Egypt, and ancient China, basically, and you have to face like creatures from different mythologies, and at the end you have to face a Titan himself. So it's a really cool concept, and at the time I just stopped playing Diablo 2 since I was obsessed with that game, and especially playing online, of course. But after a while I was just sick and tired of that. After I spent hundreds of hours playing Diablo 2 online, I really needed a break. But the genre really stuck with me at that point, and I was looking for a sort of replacement. Not necessary to play online, just by myself, but I wanted a Diablo-style game. I tried some, and at the end, almost no, not by coincidence. It was a friend of mine actually who suggested me this game, since she was playing this game and said that since she knew that I love Diablo, said you probably like this Titan's Quest, and of course I loved it. I mean, it's a lot of fun. And as I said, it's the same thing as Diablo. So these, how they're called, like dungeon crawlers, and loot-based games. So this the reason why I haven't finished it, even though I like this very much, and technically I actually finished this game now that I think about it, but it doesn't count. Basically, the way I finished the game, I played for 5 minutes this thing on multiplayer, and all of a sudden we, together with other players, we form the party, we teleport to the final area, and we kill the boss. I didn't do anything. I was at like a level 5 character, but I saw who the final boss is and someone killed him. Of course it doesn't count. On my own I reached, I think I was towards the end of the I cannot remember very well if there was another act. So I reached, I think, the conclusion of the ancient China scenario. So I don't remember if it was something else or just like a sort of final dungeon or something. Cannot remember very well. It's been a long time. And eventually I wouldn't mind coming back to this game and finish it properly. And also I would like to play the expansion, since this game, I think it was quite popular when it was released, to the point that they released an expansion. I cannot remember how it was called, but I definitely would love to finish properly Titan's Quest, because it's a really fun game. I love this sort of reimagination of Greek mythology, kind of like when you watch the Aryan anime. Where is it? I cannot find it now. It was supposed to be there. Anyways. Oh yeah, there it is. Sorry about that, I couldn't find it. The Aryan anime movie, which is great, and it's again this reimagination of Greek mythology, which is awesome. It's something that I love, of course. The next game, it's an infamous one for me, and it's Freedom Wars on the Vita, so something more recent. Freedom Wars is one of the most frustrating games I've played recently. I would say in the last like 5 years or something like that. It's a good game. I like it very much, especially because I really love the setting. The combat, it's not bad. It's basically a third-person shooter. But the thing is, it takes for fucking ever to finish one battle in this damn game. When you have to face those huge robots, the abductors, be prepared for a very long and frustrating battle, and all of a sudden, when you think you kind of master the game, like the combat system and everything, they will throw at you like 2 of these things, and by that point it gets really friggin' hard. And that's the reason why I haven't finished. It's just an insanely frustrating, difficult game. And I like a good challenge. I beat very hard games, but something didn't click properly with the difficulty in Freedom Wars. Maybe it's, I don't know, because sometimes you have these really cheap deaths due to, I don't know, your teammates being absolute idiots, or you're trying to save your robots, I always forgot their names, the accessory. You try to save your accessory that have been captured by the abductors, but then all the enemies are focusing on you, of course. So you just say, I'm already like getting angry thinking about it, and it really pisses me off, because I really like this game. I mean, I like the concept, I like the graphical style. It's very anime-ish. I can see like an anime Freedom Wars, and I wouldn't mind a sequel that's kind of balanced better the difficulty. And maybe, I don't know, you can add some sort of RPG elements or improve some elements of the combat. But this game is a lot of fun. I remember when I was able to hold my own in battle, and battles were manageable actually. It was a lot of fun, even though it took like even an hour to take down one of these friggin' abductors. But that was the best feeling in the world. It was like just yes, 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 something like this when you win a battle. But when things start to go wrong in that game, you just want to snap your Vita on the knees. And that's not a good idea, because Vitas are expensive, especially the memory cards. But who knows? I already tried 3 times with that game and managed to get a bit further every time. So maybe eventually I will be able to finish it. But I don't know if now I can handle such like blood pressure due to rage caused by Freedom Wars. And it's a shame, because it's an interesting, unique game in a way. It's also, I think, one of early Vita games that I've bought, and I would like to finish it, especially because I liked it, as I said. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't plan to play that game anytime soon, but eventually maybe I will beat it. I would like to beat, for Christ's sake. It's such a frustrating game. I remember like many, I don't know, like probably years ago now, I did a video response to Steven the Laggy Gamer about pushing through in games, and Freedom Wars was there. It's a typical example of a really difficult pushing through, and even though I tried, I got stuck and again, because they threw at me these 2 very powerful, very quick abductors. Like, one was like a tiger-looking one, which is insanely fast, and then there's also like a dragon. I was like, are you mad? So, and my team, of course, were made by idiots who were never able to resurrect me in time, and I'm getting angry again just to think about that battle. So, let's just move on. Oh my god, oh, stupid Freedom Wars. But I will beat that game sooner or later. I can just imagine myself at like 80 years old, like, I beat Freedom Wars. Then the final game is the embarrassing one, and I cannot believe that I haven't beat it, but I haven't played this in ages. The first Legend of Zelda on the NES. I never beat it. Yeah. Now that's embarrassing. For the simple reason that I have no idea what I'm supposed to do now. Because I remember, like, I beat all the dungeons, I have all the pieces of the Triforce, and I was like, now what? Because I know there's supposed to be like a second quest or something. How do I do that? As I said, I haven't played that game maybe in 20 plus years. So, if probably more, now that I think about it. Because 90% of that was done when I was very, very young. But after that, I play a bit further just to complete the Triforce, and then I had no idea what I was supposed to do. So that's why I haven't finished The Legend of Zelda. I just need to read a walkthrough or something, I suppose, but I don't really have the time for NES games at this point. With my gaming time, especially in Italy, where my NES is at the moment, it's so insanely limited that I basically don't have the time to play like PS3 and PS4 games, let alone NES games, other than for factors like Batman or Street Fighter 2010, but not like Legend of Zelda. So that's the only reason. I'm lazy. I'm incredibly lazy, and yeah, I don't have the time for NES games at the moment. Even though I love NES, and NES games are super nostalgic, and I every time I'm there, I always pop in and I like some NES or Super NES games because they're so nostalgic and fun. There's something really special about them. I even played sometimes, just for like 10 minutes, those stupid like the Robo Warrior game, which it's one of the things that basically made me realize that bad games were a thing, like bad game existed. Because at the time, when I was extremely young, I thought that the NES could do no wrong. Every game was perfect. Then I played Robo Warriors and I was like shocked for life. And I say, oh my god, this is horrible. I still play that friggin' game at time just for fun. But yeah, I haven't played The Legend of Zelda in ages now, and I would like to finish it eventually. I just basically need to do the final dungeon and kill Ganon, but I don't know how to go there. I'm probably the only idiot in the world who doesn't know that. But anyways, these were some games that I really, really enjoyed, but for really lame reasons, as I told you, I never finished them. And eventually I would like to. Some of them, since these are games I love. So definitely check Senkai's original video, since it was very interesting. It's a very interesting topic. Tougher than I thought to come up with a decent list. I hope this was decent enough. So thanks for watching, guys. I'm just starting rambling at this point. So thanks for watching. I see you next time, and take care.